Good morning, guys. Ooh. Good morning. How are you on this beautiful day? Well, I hope you're doing well. Yes. Want to know what I'm doing today? I am on my way to the dentist. Not the dentist, but like the ortho, I guess, for the Invisalign. And, basically because of my situation, needing 2 dental implants, I basically wear my Invisalign retainer tray 24/7, unless I'm eating, of course. And, this is such a long process. If you've seen my older Invisalign video, which, that was, anyway, that was a story, and you can definitely check that video out to kind of get you caught up. But the reason I say all that is because I think for someone normally who does Invisalign, you do the retainer as if you would have done braces, and then you only use them, like you use them all the time at first, and then after like maybe 6 months or something, you just use them at night. And that's fine. But if you're missing teeth, that's not going to work. You have to keep that space open, and your teeth do shift. So that's kind of where I'm at, where I have to wear it at all times. I did get I think it's called a flipper, or it's called something, like, that's probably not the right term. And that was with a different dentist. That was like an actual just dentist who did it. And, at first the dentist was nice, and then things didn't go so well with the flipper. And you could just tell, like, the energy just changes and shifts. And I hate the fact that, like, you don't know when things are not going well until they don't go well, right? So, and what I mean is, I feel like any dentist office, they should really be, you can kind of, what am I trying to say? You can tell how good of an office it is when shit hits the fan, right? So what I mean by that is, and the thing is, you don't want shit to hit the fan, but it's like when things are really hard and you're not happy as a paying customer, like, that's when you can tell, like, how good are these people. And it's unfortunate that most of the time that's when it's too late. You're already in there, right? That's what happened with the Invisalign. And with this guy, he was really nice at first. He's nice. That dentist was nice. It's just that once things started going weird, and like the way that they had presented the flipper was like one way, right? It was a brand new flipper. It was something I've never seen before. It was flexible. It was small, cool, and it wasn't going to be like ball clasps in the back the way that my original one was, which was a normal retainer, just without the bar in the front. And that gave me a lot of issues with spacing in my teeth. So that's why I had to do Invisalign and everything else. So with that being said, basically the first time I went in, they gave me a flipper, right? And it didn't look anything like that one example they showed me when I first went in. Well, that's wrong, right? Because if you're showing somebody what they're expecting, you need it to be that same one. And I was like, this is weird. He's like, oh, just wear it for a couple weeks, and then come back and let me know if you still don't like it. And I'm like, it's really weird because this looks so odd. And it just, like, the teeth were super tiny. If I can find a picture, I will insert it, if not here on the screen. Dude, like, it was just weird. And so, like, you could just tell that the teeth were not matching up to, like, the rest of the gum line, like if the gum line is doing this, like a bunch of M's, right? And then you have like a little M. That doesn't make sense. Your teeth should just kind of like flow. And this didn't flow. It didn't match my smile. It was just frustrating. And this was expensive. Let me just be real, because I feel like a lot of times I watch these videos to see, like, okay, how much are people paying? This was $1,000 because I had different options, right? I had like a regular little flipper, and that was going to have like the ball clasps, and that was going to be $400. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that because I just did Invisalign for that reason. So let me get like the nice one, right? Let me invest in myself. And so I'm like, let me get the one that's a little more expensive. So it's about that $1,000. And I had to get care credit because ain't nobody got that much just lying around. We haven't made it yet like that. And so anyway, I had it for the 2 weeks. I don't know why I didn't just speak up and say, this doesn't look like, what you guys showed me. So I did. I dealt with it. And I was like, this is not right. And then I think there was vacation time. Like, some stuff was going on. This was probably pre-COVID. Like, yeah, I want to say this was sort of at the brink of like it happening or something. And so I had to wait, and then I went in and I was like, this just doesn't feel right. And then his attitude changed. And that's when like people kind of take it personal, I guess. The thing is, he had to send it off to a lab anyway, which I have an issue with that. I feel like, granted, I know it's probably expensive, but it's like if it was all in-house, it would make more sense because he is like seeing the color that he needs. He's seeing the shape of the retainer that I have, which it just looks like full teeth. When I use the flipper that I have now, it just doesn't look as complete to me, And so anyway, I guess because I'm used to this. And so then you can see the shift in his attitude, like, well, like, I don't understand. And then I was like, well, when I had the original one, like the way I was explaining everything in detail, and I won't bore you with it, but I was just being detailed with like what I wanted because obviously, I'm paying for it. I want it to be nice. It's not a cheap item. Even if I would have gotten the one that was, the less expensive one, even then, I just feel like you're still spending money, right? Basically, that was that. And then it was like, well, I think over the phone I might have asked, hey, I kind of need this fixed. And he's like, well, bring in whatever you want to bring in. So I found a picture. I explained like I wanted the type of flipper that looked like a retainer without the ball clasp, because I was trying to get back to that original example they sent me, or they showed me. And, it was like, well, sure. Okay, if you want the ball clasp, we'll do that for you. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I don't want the ball clasps. I just want, I want this to look right. And the small teeth it's just not working. And it was just this back and forth. You could just tell he was annoyed with me. You could just tell that he was annoyed with me because I was not happy. And I feel like it's like I hate that it's a theme. I mean, I had one really good dentist, and the thing is their hours were really limited, and at the time I was working, and he's kind of far, like he was pretty good. There was times where I was a little frustrated, and I feel like he was like, no problem. I mean, he was just calm about it. It's his business. Like, that's how he should be treating customers. It's like, there is something about the customer's always right that I like, and it's not always true because I've been on the customer service end of it, like as an employee, and I get that. But like when I'm paying a lot for this item and it just doesn't look right on my teeth, I'll see if I now can like insert both, right? Like the one, and I'm talking about this flipper that wasn't made right with small teeth. And if I can find one with my original retainer flipper, I'll show that too, because at that time I had that one all the time. I could eat with it. I could talk with it. I didn't have to take it out to eat. Like, people didn't know that. Even when I had to do Invisalign, they were like, I don't know why you need Invisalign. Your teeth are straight. They look straight, And so, yeah, it was just a whole production. So I feel like that's when you really notice, are these people as kind as they are when you first meet them? They're just trying to get your business. I feel like that's kind of what it relates to me. It's just trying to get your business. If things don't work out, like, just suck it up. And I don't want to do that because forever I've always done that. And, I've had to pay, and I just sit there and I'm like, oh, it's probably part of the trauma. You just have to take it. You don't want to ruffle feathers. You don't want to be annoying. You just want to like go along with it. And it's like, no, as a paying customer, even if for some reason you were to win some giveaway and they're doing it for free, like, no, you as a person deserve to have good service that you're going to have to deal with later. I have to be comfortable with it. If it's an implant, I need to be comfortable. I shouldn't feel uncomfortable with, the prosthetics, So anyway, that's been my dilemma forever. And I feel like every time it's the same thing. And I get it. Sometimes people are saying, well, like if it's the same thing everywhere, it's you. Not always. And I realize that now it's not always, because there's been plenty of times where I've dealt with it. I had one time a filling, and the dentist jacked up one of the fillings. I had two on either side. He jacked up one because he took forever, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And I didn't realize until I started flossing. And then when you floss, it catches on something. And I was like, oh, it hurts. And I hate going back to people and confrontation and all that. And so I was like, I'll just deal with it. Well, when I went to the next dentist, they were like, yeah, it looks like there's like a jagged edge down there when they did an x-ray. And sure enough, he had messed something up. Like it was, and the thing is, you don't want to go back and fix it because it's just going to ruin, you're going to mess up the tooth even more. So I reluctantly went back to him and I was like, hey, you know, this bothered me and it still bothers me. And he's like, just give it a few months. It should get better. And then if not, you know, you can come back to me. I'm already coming back to you, dude. You know, like this is it. It had been several months and I, you know, took my little tail between my legs and I was like, all right, you know, I still have issues with it. I still catch it when when I floss. It still is uncomfortable. That shouldn't happen. Like it just shouldn't. So I don't know what he did. But one of the doctors, the next doctor that I went to was like, yeah, it looks like something happened to when he did it. And it just looks like a jagged edge. So you're going to catch it every time. So that's frustrating and inconvenient. But with all of that to say, I just don't feel like every time, if you have an issue every time, you know, that it's you. Sometimes it's just the business. And unfortunately, it feels like a lot of businesses are like, just take it or leave it type of thing. And that's not okay. It's just, it frustrates me to no end. So anyway, that's my little rant, I guess, for the day and just like to catch up. I'm just gonna check on the retainer portion of the Invisalign because it's, you know, kind of dirty and also because one of the teeth that they put in there is kind of coming out. So I just want that to be fixed, you know, until I can find a dental implant surgeon to fix this situation that is a 20-year plus process. So with that being said, thank you for listening and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys.